so we are now on day 2 of the Black Ops 7 beta, and today Zombies has finally dropped, and that's pretty much what I was focused on playing today. There is a new map in multiplayer, but I really just wanted to kind of get familiar with Zombies today and really get all my thoughts down, play as much as I can, things like that. So just like yesterday's video, I took down note of a lot of things that I noticed as I was playing, and I did play for quite a while, so there are some good, some bad elements. Overall, I do want to say I think Zombies is a pretty good experience. I think if you enjoyed Black Ops 6 Zombies, you're probably really gonna like Black Ops 7 Zombies, so let's just get right on into it. So the Zombies map is actually Van Dorn Farms, which was a portion of the Ashes of the Damned map. This is a survival map, so we actually got a glimpse at one of the new modes that's going to be coming to Zombies, which is survival. So basically what it is you turn on the power, and basically your entire objective is just to survive. You get access to Pack-a-Punch, you have ammo mods, you've got the mystery box, you've got the Wonder Fizz machine. Basically everything that you would have to kind of go around the map to find is already in this map. You just need to turn the power on to access it, and you got to open all the doors to be able to get to all of these different things. There's not too many doors to open. It's a pretty small kind of restricted space. There is plenty of room to run around though, and it is a pretty solid map in terms of what this game mode is trying to be. So survival, in my opinion, is kind of like that sort of arcadey Zombies kind of game that you would play in your local theater or whatever. So if you like those kinds of games where it's just mostly run and gun, I think you're really gonna like survival mode. Personally, I think this would be great for camo grinding and things like that if you don't want to kind of have to go through the Easter egg quest steps and all that. You just kind of have everything in one place. So for the most part, I did feel that it played better than Black Ops 6 Zombies in terms of movement. It felt smoother. The wall jumping, you don't really have a lot of opportunity to use it in such an isolated space, but it was kind of fun. It was more fluid of a movement system for Zombies. In terms of also the sorts of enemy variety that you get, I felt that it was pretty balanced in terms of dealing with elites, armored zombies, regular zombies, etc. I didn't really feel like I was at one point overwhelmed in dealing with so many elites in one round. Granted though, at some point I did have a ray gun that was like maximum pack-a-punched, but you know what I mean. It wasn't as crazy as sometimes what you would get in regular zombies when you were playing in Black Ops 6, so it was more doable in my opinion than Black Ops 6 Zombies. I really like the Pack-a-Punch camo for Ashes of the Damned. I think it looks really cool. The colors work well with the sort of pattern that they're going for. It's kind of got a bit of a subtle animation to it. It's just a really nice design in my opinion, and so far is one of my favorites we've had in the last 2 now Zombies games. It was nice to see some variety in the enemies. So the zombies all look different. The armored zombies look much more unique this time around. They actually have a kind of cooler look to them than just being like people who were wearing armor. The Ravagers are the max ammo round zombies, and these guys were, in my opinion, really annoying. I was not a fan of them. Personally, they just kind of always catch up to you no matter how fast you're running, and then just like gunning them just takes way too long. At some point I started noticing that it was just really boring, so I activated the trap saw every time I noticed that it was going to be around for them, and just kind of let that take care of them because I didn't want to deal with them at some point. I think it was a better and more polished experience that felt more fun to play than the multiplayer so far, but I would have liked to have a little bit more map to really be able to enjoy the game, as being stuck in this one small kind of area can get tedious at some point, especially if you're going solo. You're gonna get bored, I think, so be ready to kind of save and quit and come back if you find that you're kind of bored after round 20, 30, things like that. What was really nice was that we actually had access to a bunch of gobblegums, and these gobblegums don't transfer to Black Ops 6 and they don't transfer to Black Ops 7 either. So basically they're just kind of free for you to play around with in this mode. So that's how I was able to get the ray gun from the mystery box and things like that. It was just kind of like a lot more fun to be able to just use those gobblegums, because you can also play around with stuff that you maybe wouldn't normally want to use when you're playing regular zombies, because you kind of want to save them up. Something that did kind of confuse me though is why they delayed it, because today it was supposed to come out an hour earlier than it actually released. So I mean, it's not that big of a deal. We ended up being able to play it anyways, but I do kind of wonder what was going on. I don't know. Overall, I did enjoy it, and I think that I would go back and play it more than multiplayer once the actual game releases, but I would like to see more map because I don't want to just keep playing on this one map for so long. It does get kind of boring at some point. But with all these good things, there are a couple of negatives that I did want to highlight that really stood out to me as well. So firstly, the HUD. I think this is kind of going to be one of the biggest complaints that you're going to see, but I didn't like it very much. I feel like the Black Ops 7 multiplayer HUD just doesn't fit with zombies at all. It's cluttered all over the screen. It just doesn't fit with the vibe of zombies in Black Ops 7 because it's not futuristic. We're continuing the story from Black Ops 6, so it feels like there's a bit of a disconnect there. I really think that it could use the Black Ops 3 HUD, for instance, or something like that, but just not the Black Ops 7 multiplayer HUD in zombies. Another really big problem that I faced as I was playing was that the guns just felt way too weak. The time to kill was a lot higher than I expected, or the guns just weren't strong enough, but too many bullets were being constantly wasted. I would get my guns pack-a-punched, high rarity levels. I would use like double tap. I did like so many things to try and figure out if it was just the gun, if I was doing something wrong with it, but it just really felt like, especially after round 30 or so, that those guns just become completely useless. Like the zombies are bullet sponges, even the regular ones. I was just sticking to using the ray gun almost the entire time because I felt like these standard guns just weren't dealing almost any damage compared to what they should have been or what I was used to having in Black Ops 6. Something that sort of disappointed me a lot was seeing the Doppelgast make a return. So at around round 40, I want to say, the Doppelgast just sort of spawned in, and this honestly shocked me because why is it back? I really just want to understand why the Doppelgast is back. I understand it's like, well, it's still connected to Black Ops 6 Zombies, but honestly, we've had the Doppelgast on almost every single map in Black Ops 6 Zombies, and I did not want to deal with them again. I want to see Doppelgasts, I don't want to see amalgams, I don't want to see them again. And we had to see Doppelgasts in Black Ops 7 Zombies, and I felt like that was a little bit lazy. Like, why are we reusing this sort of enemy, especially when we already have two new ones, which are the Ravagers and the Sorta? I didn't really see a point in including Doppelgasts. I feel like there should have been something different. I do want to say here that Black Ops 7 overall, not just zombies, but overall very much does feel like a DLC for Black Ops 6. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. At least in the case of Black Ops 7, it's more polished, it does feel nicer to play, but it's not very innovative compared to last year. So it might feel boring to play something very similar if you were more of a casual zombies fan, if you never really cared for the story. Now, if you do care for the story, I think Black Ops 7 is supposed to deliver a pretty solid story for zombies, but if you're somebody that doesn't care at all, this might feel a little bit boring to you. Also, at some point, I felt like the zombies, the normal ones, just do way too much damage at a certain level that it was becoming really boring to deal with them. And like I said before, the weapon at some point just felt too weak, so it wasn't effective at countering them. And then at some point, I would just kind of turn on the trap saw and throw the symbol monkeys because I was just getting tired of having to keep wasting magazine after magazine on these just normal level zombies for no reason at all, so that does need to be adjusted in my opinion. Overall, I enjoyed Black Ops 7 Zombies, and I think that from what we've seen so far, it's a very solid gameplay experience. However, I do think that it might feel a little bit fatiguing to have to play something so similar to Black Ops 6 Zombies all over again. I feel like in general, like I said earlier, Black Ops 7 does feel like a DLC. The experience of the gameplay in Black Ops 7 Zombies is smoother overall, and it's more fun to play, so I feel like that's a benefit that might make it more enjoyable, especially if you really liked Black Ops 6 Zombies. The problem is pretty much the same as what I said in my multiplayer video. This is a very expensive price tag for the same game 2 years in a row. $70 for a DLC is going to be difficult for a lot of people to justify, especially for people who aren't exactly hardcore zombies fans and they may not care that much to get another experience that's going to feel about the same as last year's experience. And on top of that, I think definitely the feedback that we're going to be seeing from the multiplayer is going to trickle into the reception of the overall game, because SBMM has been a serious discussion point for a lot of people. Overall, Black Ops 7 is a pretty good game. I'm not seeing that there's too many outlandish issues with it, but it's so similar to Black Ops 6 in so many aspects, and it includes SBMM in the multiplayer, that I feel like it will have a negative reception from a lot of people. However, I do think that Zombies was good. I think it was fun. I think it was a solid experience. There were just some things that I think should have been adjusted. But in any case, let me know what you guys think of Zombies in the comments below. Let me know if you're going to be playing Black Ops 7 Zombies or not this year. Like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on another upload. And that's all for today, folks.